Can you please state your name and position in EcoVillage?
My name is Shyam Shabaka. I'm the founder and director of EcoVillage Farm Learning Center.
So, Shyam, how about you start off with telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I always like to tell people I was born, reared, and corn-fed in Texarkana, Arkansas. And I spent most of my professional career in public health, both domestically and internationally. I worked for the City of Berkeley Health Department for 30 years and did a substantial amount of consultant work in sub-Saharan Africa. And after retiring in 2000, I started EcoVillage Farm Learning Center, which is located here in Richmond, California.
Wow, that's quite the history right there you have. How about we start off with the question, what is EcoVillage Farm Learning Center?
EcoVillage Farm Learning Center is a place for people, particularly urban, low-income people, with a greater focus on youth and families to come and learn both soft skills and hard skills about how to learn how to take care of themselves, each other, and the environment in which they live, with a particular focus on food, in the air and the water and the land, how to make it more sustainable, to do no harm, basically, to try to operate on the principles of 7 generations, that whatever we do today will, people 7 generations from now will be able to benefit from it. And so we are totally organic farm. We don't use any chemicals, no pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides, things of that nature. And we teach, again, people how to eat more healthier. Particularly, I understand from my background in public health that a lot of the illnesses, particularly the chronic illness that people in this society encounter, a lot of it results from living in an unhealthy environment or either unhealthy lifestyles. So we try to promote healthy living at EcoVillage, and you have people to learn the necessary skills that they need to improve their living conditions.
How did the EcoVillage Learning Center, how did it get all started?
Well, after retiring from the City of Berkeley in 2000, I had to decide what I was going to do with the remainder of my life and how I wanted to spend it. And I chose Richmond because it's a highly toxic environment with a lot of petrochemicals, like Chevron has been here initially at Standard Oil since 1901. It did a lot of harm to the environment. There was a lot of poverty, a lot of social conditions that needed to be addressed, and so I felt that Richmond was a good spot, and so I was fortunate enough to find this particular site, which is 5.5 acres of semi-urban land located very close to schools and communities, and people don't have to travel a lot to get here.
Now, the reason for this interview is to spread awareness about bees, which leads me to my next question. Why should we be concerned about bees?
At least for 2 major reasons we should be concerned about bees, because 75% of the food that we eat each day we wouldn't have available to us if it wasn't for the bees and the work that they've done in the pollination. And so that's why, and a lot of people, when they think of bees, particularly the bees that we take care of primarily are the European honeybees, they think of honey, but bees can make a major contribution to our health and well-being. And I also think of them as being sort of like the canary in the coal mine, where the problems that bees encounter oftentimes is just a prelude to the problems that we encounter from living in an unhealthy environment. So bees have, in the last probably 30 or 40 years, have had a very difficult time due to the pollution, man-made chemicals that harming the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the food that we eat. So, and the bees are sort of a advanced warning signal to us that we need to be taking better care of our environment. If we take better care of the bees, we also taking better care of ourselves. And bees are crucial to our food supply, and as a result of that, we should, by taking better care of the bees, we're actually taking better care of ourselves.
Wow, that's really profound insight right there. Why did you start this beekeeping apprenticeship program?
Well, I wanted to get people who are traditionally urban people, people of low resource, involved in learning about the contribution bees make to our well-being, and also get them involved in caring basically better for bees in an urban environment. And so as a result of that, I started this year-long beekeeping apprenticeship program, particularly focusing on people who are normally are not involved. These are urban dwellers, low-resource urban dwellers, BIPOC people, black, indigenous, people of color, primarily that I recruited and to be engaged in this program. And my next effort will be to start a program for young girls, and it'll be called Royal Jelly Daughters of Prince of Sheba, Queen of Sheba. These will be daughters of, and these will be able to teach young urban girls the skill of beekeeping. And by teaching them the skills of beekeeping, they will have a lot of other skills that they'll learn, which are transferable to whatever they decide to do as their goals in life. Bees can teach us a lot about our survival. They've been around for millions of years, and I think that there's a lot that we can learn from them. They provide us with, first and foremost, a larger supply of food that we have to eat. Like I say, if you like apples, you like strawberries, you like blackberries, you like blueberries, you like peaches, you like apricots. I could go on down the list of food that we eat that wouldn't be available to us if we wasn't for the bees. Also, it's not just the fruits and vegetables, but also they provide food for the animals, for carnivores, people who eat meat. They wouldn't have the large supply of chicken feed and cow feed and pig feed that they have if it wasn't for bees, because the alfalfa, the bees are instrumental in the pollination of alfalfa, which is often used as a animal feed. And so bees, and even the milk that we drink, the cows wouldn't be as well fed if it wasn't for the bees being able to provide food for them. So bees are an integral part of our well-being and our food supply, and as a result of that, the least we can do is to contribute to their survival and well-being.
Now, what can people do to help protect bees?
Well, some of the main things that people can do is to eliminate the use of harmful pesticides, herbicides, things like Roundup, neonicotinoids, anything that ends with "cide," C-I-D-E, usually is harmful. The herbicides that you use on your lawn, if you cut down or eliminate the spraying of your fruit trees, and use integrated pest management, which doesn't require the use of any chemicals, you go a long ways with helping to contribute to the well-being of bees. Also, if you plant pollinating plants, flowers in your yard, along your rather than get rid of your lawns and put in maybe more flowers that would create a food supply for the bees, you would go a long ways toward contributing to their well-being, in addition to not using any of the herbicides or pesticides or the fungicides that I mentioned earlier.
Okay. So now that we know a little bit about who you are, what EcoVillage is all about, and the reason for the bee program, I'd like to ask you one last question. How may people be of assistance to EcoVillage Farm and support its mission to not only protect bees, but our earth and environment as well?
Well, that's a very good question, and I think that it all centers around basically what we do as individuals, what we do as a family, what we do as a community, and a larger society. So, and one of the things I think that one can do, if you do all that, then you're supporting the mission of EcoVillage. I mean, we have a variety of different programs that we have here, and we welcome people to get in touch with us to participate in any of the programs that we do, and of course we can always use any financial support that can be made available to us. But because the population that we serve is, our target population, you may say, is the greater East Bay, San Francisco East Bay area, including West Contra Costa County, East Alameda County, and with our focus being on low resource communities, we always are in need of a variety of additional resources to support the program. We do a lot of work with youth. We work closely with the school districts, West Contra Costa Unified School District. I have youth out here 4 days a week, and we welcome the involvement of anybody from regardless of where they are. We always can find a place to engage you with some of the things that we're involved in doing.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Shyam.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you about what we all can do to improve our society and contribute to the well-being of not just bees, but to each other. Thank you very much.